what? What is the problem? What? She said, you are pregnant. So I say, sure. She said, you're very pregnant. That to me was really funny. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. This is Carla. And guess what? Alright, I know that you have seen it already in the title. I am back with a part 2 of my pregnancy journey. Well, this is actually for the second pregnancy. Yes, I got pregnant twice. So I was asked by subscribers. The subscribers were actually asking me, and they sent messages to my phone asking me to do a part 2 to the story I told last week. So if you're interested in hearing how it goes, like the second time, please stay tuned. Okay, so this is my story. Part 2, a continuation from, well, it's not really a continuation because this is actually for the second pregnancy, as I had said before. But look here, before I start the video, let me ask a question. Have you yet subscribed to my YouTube channel? If you have not done so, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to just click the subscribe button, turn the bell on, and also give this video a thumbs up. You've done that? All right, 2 seconds. All right, thank you. All right, so pregnancy number 2. So for this pregnancy, I didn't know it would happen at all. I didn't know it would happen any at all. So I realized that I'd missed a month. I'd missed a month, and I'm saying, what is happening? Yes, I was concerned about it, but because it had happened before and I wasn't pregnant, so I was thinking that maybe this is just one of those other times. So I was there, but I realized that nothing at all was happening. It was still continuing. I was still missing. Another month. So I realized that I started to feel sick. I started to feel nauseous. And as I said before, this is not something I was expecting at this time. So to be honest with you, pregnancy was not even on my mind. It was not on my mind any at all. So I started feeling sick. I started feeling nauseous. I realized that the smell of certain food would make me feel sick. I realized that certain scent would kind of get my stomach upset. There is this thing I used to use on my couch. I don't remember what the name of it is. I don't remember the name of it, but I realized I used to love the smell of it, but then after I started using it, I realized that I couldn't take the scent of it. It was just really, really annoying and just sticking to my stomach, and I couldn't take the scent of that, so I had to stop using that. Some other air freshener that I used in the house, I realized I couldn't take the scent of it either. The smell of chicken, I could not take the smell of that. I said, no man, this look away now. This look away, and I was saying it to my husband, and he was saying that, Carla, is like, you're gone. But I didn't even want to think that at that time, right? So I decided that I'm going to buy a pregnancy test kit. And so I bought it. But when I did the test, the second, well, you know that the first line, the test line is going to come up, and then the other line, the control line is going to come up, and then the test line is supposed to come up. But for the test line, I realized that I almost could not see anything. It was so pale, it was so faint, like I wasn't sure. I really could not use that to say, all right, then I am pregnant, because the line was really, really faint, right? And I didn't even bother to buy another one. I said to myself, let me just go straight to the doctor. So I went to our family doctor, and I did the urine. I gave her the urine sample, and she tested it, because I told her of how I was feeling, and she said, let us do a pregnancy test. So I can remember vividly. I was in the room sitting, and the door was that direction. So I was facing the door. And I remember when I was sitting in the chair, and she came back into the room, and she was looking at me like, because remember, she knew the result. And she said to me, Mrs. Price, guess what? And I said, what? What is the problem? What? She said, you are pregnant. So I said, sure. She said, you're very pregnant. That to me was really funny. She said, you're very pregnant. I said, really? And then after I said that, I was still for about a minute. because I was just taking it in. Because remember, and it's not like it's something I was planning. You understand? It wasn't really planned. It wasn't planned. It just happened, right? And even when I was experiencing all those symptoms, I wasn't thinking around that line that I could be pregnant again. I was not. So I was there, mixed feelings, because I was happy. I mean, another child. It's beautiful to have children. They're a blessing. They are blessings. But at that time maybe I wasn't ready. So I was there in the moment, trying to absorb what she told me, trying to get my mind around what she told me. And so I said, okay, then all right. So when I left, I called my husband and I told him, and he was frightened to me. Now, like maybe he wasn't all that frightened because I believe that he had suspected that that could be the case. But he still have a shock because it's not like we planned, as I said before. So I left the doctor's office and I went home. I remember I took a little time off from work. I asked permission from work to go and do the test and so I didn't go back to work. I took the rest of the afternoon off and I went home and it seemed as though as soon as I reached home, I just started feeling really, really sick. Really, really sick. And then for the first pregnancy, I was able to eat. I ate everything. And I ate so much. For this pregnancy, I didn't really have an appetite. And so that is one of the reasons I was thinking that I was going to have a boy, because for the first pregnancy, I ate everything, and then I had a girl, so I was thinking that maybe this is a boy. So I went home, and I really was not feeling well that evening, and I realized that I started having the same symptoms as I did with the first one, in terms of that my mouth was tasting really bad, and to make it worse, I couldn't take the smell of certain food kinds also. So I was there, still had to go to work as before, still had to do what I had to do, right? So I remember I was there one of the time after having my breakfast, and my stomach got really, really upset. I'm realizing I just feel like I want to vomit, and then look here, I vomited the whole place down before I went to work that morning. I did not experience this in the first pregnancy. I vomited so much. I remember each time I smelled egg, I couldn't take the smell of egg. Every time I smelled egg, I had to vomit. Right? So for this second pregnancy, I could not eat. I couldn't eat a lot, and I had lost a lot of weight. I lost so much weight because I wasn't eating anything. I wasn't digesting anything at all. Even my favorite foods, I couldn't take the smell. Like everything was just a turn off for me. All right. So I went through this pregnancy mostly vomiting. I vomited even blood one time. It was so frightening. One morning I was in the bathroom and I was vomiting. And when I looked, I realized I had vomited up some blood. I made it really frightened because I didn't know what it is. I called my doctor the same time and she was saying that maybe it's because you're vomiting so often. You're maybe scraping the lining of your stomach, which would cause, some blood to come up. And so I said, okay then. For this pregnancy, I didn't really have a lot of hospital visit as I did with the first one. For the first pregnancy, almost every other week we had the hospital because of some pain or something. But apart from me vomiting and feeling really sick all the time, it was basically just that until the time when I was supposed to give birth. No, for the first pregnancy, even when I was at 40 weeks pregnant, I was showing no sign, like the baby was giving me no sign at all as if she wanted to come, even up until 40 weeks of pregnancy. I wasn't having any pain, no contraction, nothing at all, nothing, all right? So when I went into my doctor, the doctor was also amazed because the doctor was saying nothing at all. So I said no. So they planned that they were going to have to do a C-section because seeing that I did one first, they said that they could not induce labor on me because of the first C-section that I did. So they planned that they were going to do another C-section. I remember one doctor was telling me that I have the option of trying to have a natural birth. But then I remember another doctor came into the room and she was saying that she would not advise me to try to push because of the first C-section that I did. She's saying that it could be risky for me to push. Anything can happen during that time. So we came down to another C-section. Now, to be honest, for the second time, it wasn't as frightening to me as the first time because guess what? I had done it before. So this time I was more calm. Having the first experience, I believe that I handled it pretty well. But this was at a different hospital. So the morning when I was supposed to do the C-section, I was calm and all. I was really calm because I knew what to expect for the surgery. But the thing is that I was out there waiting for such a long time because even when it was my time to go in, they still were not finished with the other person that was in there. So I had to wait a long time. This pregnancy was not as painful as the first one because remember the first one they had to even pull the mucus plug and to break the amniotic sac for me. So that was not done because we already knew it was going to be a C-section. So yeah, when it was my turn, I went into the room. They placed me on the table and told me I should, sit still. They were going to inject me because it was another spinal surgery I was going to do. We call it a spinal injection, right? Yes. So I sat on the table waiting for them to inject me, but it seemed as though this was a trainee doctor. And the lady injected me about 50, like she couldn't find the correct place in where to inject me. And I had to sit there for how long before she could find the correct place, the amount of jukings I get. It was so uncomfortable. And to make it worse, I had to be sitting still because I can't move. Remember, it's a spinal injection. Anything can go wrong. So she eventually found the correct place to inject, and she did the injection. So while I was there, it was like nothing was really new because I did this already. So she did the injection, and I started feeling the lower half of my body becoming heavy and numb. So I remember when I was there and the doctor said, Mrs. Price, tell me if you can feel this. So she was pinching my foot, but I could still feel it. And she said, no, man, but you shouldn't be able to feel that. So they did something else again. They did another injection. Yes, another injection. And after a while, she said to me, can you feel me pinching you? And I could still feel her pinching me. So they had to give me another injection. And then it was when they did the third one that I wasn't able to feel anything at all. And they said, all right, then you're ready. And they did what they're supposed to do. And as I said before, it wasn't painful. I could feel the thugging, I could feel them pulling the baby from outside of me. And again, I heard the baby cry. I didn't cry again this time. I didn't cry again. Of having the experience before, I didn't cry again. And the doctor was there. Maybe it's a thing. There's always a doctor there to like comfort you through the process and all of that. And so they took me into another room. But at the same time, it was a bit hard. Why? Because I was just coming out of, a major surgery, and they gave me the baby right on the bed. I remember, the bottom half of me was like dead. I had no feeling. I couldn't move my legs any at all, and they fling the baby on me. So I said, I really have to take the baby in this condition. Like, I can't even hold the baby good. I couldn't even sit up, and the half of me is dead. And she said, yes, mother. You have to take the baby and do the skin-to-skin contact thing. So I had to try to balance the baby on my chest while down here couldn't move, and I had the injection in this hand that I could hardly move, and it was so uncomfortable. So I had to be holding my little baby in one hand, trying to balance her on my chest. Now, what was very uncomfortable is that at the time at which they were expecting the anesthesia to wear out of my body, it was taking a very long time. I started fretting. I started to fret. And they were saying that, Mrs. Price, can't you move your legs now? And I'm saying, no, I can't. And the doctor was looking really puzzled, I said, wait there, so at this time I should be able to move my leg. And they said, yeah, everybody else can move them leg at this time. So I was there and I was saying, no man, my leg have to start moving now. So I tried, even though it was so difficult, I really tried to put some strength in there and try to move my legs. And then afterwards, when she came to check, she said, oh yeah, I am seeing some movements now. So it means that the epidural has started to, So they took me to another ward, to the delivery ward. Yeah, that was where they took me. And I was feeling okay until the anesthesia started to wear out from my body. And that is where you start to feel the real pain. That is where the real pain starts. It started to wear out of my body, and I began to feel the pain. And trust me, I cried. I cried because it was really painful. I remember there was another lady over to my left, and the lady, she bawled for her mother. She was crying for about 1 hour, bawling. I licked the wall, and she bawled for her mother. And I said, oh God, I know what she's feeling. But I'm not the type to really cry and lick down the place and so. But it was really painful. And this experience now, of having the child is different, because for the first child, I didn't have her with me. She was in the nursery for the entire time that I was in the hospital. But for this pregnancy now, I had to be, nursing the baby, bathing the baby, doing everything for the baby while I myself needed some, Yeah, so this experience was different because I didn't have to do this the first time. So, so I was there looking after the baby and so, but then when I was supposed to now go to the bathroom, I was so scared of leaving the baby out there and having to go to the bathroom, which was a little distant away from my bed. So you know what I did? I called one of the nurse and I asked her please to just stay with the baby for me until I come back from the bathroom, because I didn't trust just leaving my baby out, so, and then to go all the way to the bathroom and come back. So I did that for a few days and they were okay with it. They were really nice to me. I must say that the nurses at the hospital, I won't call the name of the hospital, they were very kind to me. I mean, I say, wow, this must be the favor of the Lord, because I've heard other persons who have been to hospitals and they have complained of the treatment from nurses and doctors, but I can honestly say that these nurses and doctors that dealt with me, they were really, really kind. So, we still got our regular checkups. They checked the baby, they checked me, everything was okay. I had baby the Tuesday, and by the Friday I was allowed to leave, and that to me is a blessing, because some persons have baby and even 2 weeks I'm in hospital seeing because everything is just not okay. But for me, my baby and I, we were doing very great, and I must say that I'm really, really grateful to God. Really, really great. If it hadn't been for him, I mean, anything could go wrong. Even when they were there trying to inject me in the correct place, anything could go wrong, But God is really good. God is really, 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 really good.